Have you ever wondered what it feels like to lose a memory before you've even finished processing it? Not the slow, fading erosion of age, but a violent digital excision, a deletion so complete that your brain scrambles to fill the void with static. In the modern theater of war, we are told that information is power. But what happens when the information is cursed? What happens when the very orders that keep you alive are designed to vanish from existence the moment they are fully understood? This is not a story about ghosts or glitches. This is a story about Sergeant Alara Vance and Echo Team trapped in a loop of their own making, fighting an enemy that doesn't just kill you, it erases you. If you think you know what sacrifice means, listen closely. Because by the time the story ends, you might forget why you started listening in the first place. The rain in the Kalen Valley didn't fall, it hammered. It was a relentless, icy percussion against the carbon fiber plating of my helmet, a sound that had become the soundtrack to my life for the last 72 hours. I lay prone in the mud, the cold seeping through my thermal undersuit, my eyes fixed on the glowing green reticle of my heads-up display. Beside me, Jax was shivering. Not from fear. Jax didn't do fear, but from the sheer bone-deep chill of waiting in a swamp that smelled of rotting vegetation and ozone. "Check your vitals, Jax," I whispered, my voice barely audible over the drumming rain. "You're trending hypothermic." "I'm fine, Sarge," Jax grunted, his voice rough. He adjusted the grip on his heavy repeater rifle, the servos in his exosuit whining softly. "Just thinking about how much I hate water and mud and this mission, in that order." "Focus," I said, though I couldn't help but smile beneath my visor. Jax was our anchor. When the world went sideways, he complained about the weather. It was his way of staying sane. Behind us, tucked into the root system of a massive lightning-struck oak, was Run, our tech specialist. Rin was small, quick, and currently vibrating with anxiety. His fingers were flying across a holographic keyboard projected from his wrist comp, the blue light reflecting off his wet goggles. "Signals fluctuating again," Rin muttered, his voice tight. "The jamming field is thicker than Intel predicted. I'm getting packet loss on the uplink. If Command tries to push an update, it's going to get garbled." "Keep trying," I said. "We need those coordinates. We can't move blind." This was Operation Silent Echo. Or at least, that's what the file name said when I first downloaded it 3 days ago. Since then, the mission parameters had shifted so many times I felt like I was chasing smoke. We were deep behind enemy lines in the disputed zones of the Eastern Bloc, tasked with retrieving a data core from a crashed satellite. Simple, right? And out. But nothing in the Kalen Valley was simple. The terrain was a nightmare of jagged rocks and dense fog, and the enemy, known only as the Silencers, didn't fight like regular infantry. They used autonomous drones, sonic weaponry, and psychological warfare that made you question your own senses. I tapped the side of my helmet, activating the private channel. "Run, status on the mission log." There was a pause, a long, heavy silence that stretched too thin. It's there, Sarge," Rin said, his voice dropping an octave. "But it's weird. The file size keeps changing. 1 second it's 5 gigabytes, the next it's 0. I think it's encrypted with a self-destruct protocol. A really aggressive one. Can you bypass it?" "No. It's tied to biometric reading. Specifically yours. It says authorized viewer, Sergeant Vance. But every time I try to open it for you, it locks down. You have to view it directly on your neural link." I frowned. Direct neural link viewing was standard for high-clearance ops, but it carried risks. Headaches, nausea, and in rare cases, temporary memory fragmentation. But we didn't have a choice. We were stuck in this valley, pinned down by drone patrols, with no clear extraction route, because the map data kept corrupting. "All right," I said, pushing myself up slightly. "Jax, keep watch. Run, monitor my vitals. If I flatline, shoot me. I am kidding. Just wake me up." I closed my eyes and initiated the neural handshake. The world around me, the rain, the mud, the smell of ozone, faded into a sterile white void. Then, text began to scroll across my mind's eye. "Mission log. Update 44B. Objective. Secure data core from crash site Delta. Threat level. Critical. Instruction. Proceed to Grid 7 Alpha. Avoid contact. Use stealth protocols." I read it once. Clear. Concise. Standard operating procedure. I prepared to disconnect, to relay the orders to the team. Something nagged at me. Grid 7 Alpha was a dead zone. We'd scanned it yesterday. There was nothing there but rock and ice. Why would Command send us there? Curiosity, that fatal flaw of every soldier who survives long enough to ask questions, got the better of me. I scroll back up. I read the log again. Mission log. Update 44B. Objective. Secure data core from crash site Delta. Threat level. Critical. Instruction. Proceed to Grid 7 Alpha. Avoid contact. Use stealth protocols. As soon as my eyes tracked the last word for the second time, the text flickered. It didn't just disappear, it dissolved. The white void turned black. A sharp, piercing pain spiked behind my eyes, like an ice pick driven into my frontal lobe. I gasped, ripping the neural link away. I opened my eyes, breathing hard. The rain was still falling. Jax was looking at me, concern etched into his muddy face. Sarge, you okay? Your heart rate spiked to 180. I'm fine, I lied, rubbing my temples. The headache was throbbing, a dull ache that pulsed in time with my heartbeat. Run, did you catch that? Ren was staring at his wrist comp, his face pale. Catch what? The link dropped. I lost the feed for 3 seconds. Did you get the orders? I opened my mouth to say Grid 7 Alpha, but the words wouldn't come. I tried to recall the text. I remembered reading it. I remembered the format. But the content? It was gone. It was like trying to remember a dream 5 minutes after waking up. The harder I grasped, the more it slipped away. I hesitated. I don't know. It's fuzzy. I think it said to move north. Or maybe east. I can't remember. Jax swapped magazines in his rifle with a sharp click. Great. So we're blind, deaf, and now dumb. Perfect. Shut up, Jax. Ren snapped, though his hand was shaking. Sarge, check your local cache. Maybe it saved a copy. I pulled up my internal HUD. The folder labeled Mission Log was empty. Not corrupted. Empty. As if it had never existed. That's impossible, I whispered. I just read it. Maybe it's a glitch, Ren suggested, though he didn't sound convinced. The jamming field, maybe it interfered with the right protection. I looked at my team. Jax, the brute force, the muscle, who trusted me implicitly. Ren, the brain, the skeptic, who trusted data above all else. And me, the leader who was supposed to have the answers. But I had nothing, just a headache and a growing sense of dread. We stay put, I decided, until we get a clearer signal. We don't move on guesswork. Jax nodded, relieved. Good. My legs are cramping anyway. But as the hours dragged on, the unease grew. The rain didn't stop. The fog thickened. And every time I tried to recall the mission parameters, the blank space in my mind seemed to expand, swallowing other memories with it. I forgot what I had for breakfast. I forgot the name of the street where I grew up. Small things at first, but the pattern was undeniable. Around midnight, Ren woke me. He was huddled under a thermal blanket, his eyes wide and bloodshot. Sarge, he whispered, I found something in the code of the neural link protocol. I sat up, ignoring the stiffness in my joints. What is it? It's not a glitch, Ren said, his voice trembling. It's a feature. The mission log. It's designed to delete itself upon double verification. It's a security measure. Eyes only once read. But it's more than that. It's scrubbing the short-term memory associated with the data. It's a cognitive hazard. Why? I asked, though I fear the answer. Because the information is too dangerous to be known, Ren said. If you know it, you're a liability. If you forget it, you're safe. But, Sarge, if you read it twice, it deletes the memory of reading it. But it also leaves a trace, a phantom limb in your brain. And I think it's spreading. I looked at Jax, who was asleep, snoring softly. Spreading what? The forgetting, Ren said. I checked your biomonitor logs from the last hour. Your hippocampus activity is erratic. You're losing coherence. If you keep trying to remember, you might lose more than just the mission. You could lose yourself. I stared into the darkness. The rain sounded like whispers now. Who was sending these orders? Why were they using a protocol that erased the messenger? And what was so important that it required us to forget it? We need to find the source, I said quietly. Not the crash site. The source of the signal. If we can hack the transmitter, we can bypass the neural link and download the data to a secure drive. No memory wipe. Rin shook his head. That's suicide. The transmitter is likely guarded. And if the silencers catch us, they won't, I said, because they don't know we're coming. We're ghosts, Ren. Forgotten before we even arrive. That's our advantage. I stood up, the mud sucking at my boots. Wait, Jax. We're moving. Where? Ren asked. Toward the pain, I said, touching my temple. Every time I try to remember, the pain gets sharper. It's a beacon. The data is calling to me, and I'm going to answer. We moved out into the night, 3 shadows against the gray mist. I didn't know where we were going. I didn't know what we were fighting for. But I knew one thing. The truth was hiding in the blank spaces of my mind, and I was going to drag it out, even if it cost me everything I had left. The journey was a blur of discomfort and tension. Every step felt heavier than the last. Jax took point, his thermal vision cutting through the fog. Ren stayed close to me, monitoring my vitals, his face a mask of worry. I focused on the pain in my head, using it as a compass. It pulsed stronger when we moved northwest, weaker when we drifted south. After 2 hours, we reached a ridge. Below us, nestled in a crater, was a structure. It wasn't a satellite crash site. It was a bunker. Old, concrete, half buried in the earth. But it was emitting a low-frequency hum that I could feel in my teeth. That's it, I whispered. How do you know? Jax asked. I admitted. But my head is screaming. We descended into the crater, moving silently. The bunker door was rusted shut, but Rin made quick work of the electronic lock. Inside, the air was stale, smelling of dust and old oil. The walls were lined with servers, blinking with faint red lights. In the center of the room stood a single terminal. I approached it, my hand hovering over the keyboard. Run, jack in. Download everything. Rin plugged his comp into the terminal. Starting now. This is going to take a minute. Jax covered the entrance, his rifle raised. Hurry up. I don't like this place. It feels watched. I looked around the room. On the walls, there were posters. Faded, yellowed posters from decades ago. Propaganda. Loyalty is obedience. Forgetting is freedom. A chill ran down my spine. This wasn't a recent installation. This place had been here for years. Decades. Done, Rin said, pulling his comp free. I got it. All of it. Did you read it? I asked. No, Rin said. I just copied the raw data. It's encrypted, but I can break it later. Good, I said. Let's go. But as we turned to leave, the door slammed shut. The lights in the room flared bright white. A voice echoed from the speakers, calm and synthetic. Welcome home, Sergeant Vance. I froze. Who is that? You have retrieved the package, the voice said. Now, you must pay the price. The floor beneath us began to vibrate. The servers sparked and smoked. Run, Jack shouted, kicking at the door. It didn't budge. Ren was frantically typing on his comp. It's a trap. The data, it's not just data. It's a virus. A cognitive virus. It's uploading into our neural links. I felt it then. A wave of heat rushing through my veins, followed by a cold numbness in my extremities. My vision blurred. I saw flashes of images. Faces I didn't recognize. Places I'd never been. A child laughing. A woman crying. A flag burning. Hold on. Yilth, grabbing Rain's shoulder. Don't let go. Jax grabbed my other arm. I've got you, Sarge. The world spun. The white light consumed everything. And then, darkness. Consciousness returned not with a bang, but with a whisper. I was lying on cold metal. The air smelled of antiseptic and burnt wiring. I opened my eyes, expecting the ceiling of the bunker. Instead, I saw a sterile white room. No windows. No doors. Just smooth, curved walls that seemed to stretch infinitely. I sat up, my head pounding. Jax and Rin were nearby, stirring. Jax groaned, rubbing his neck. Rin was already awake, staring at his hands. Where are we? Jax asked, his voice echoing strangely. I don't know, I said. I tried to access my HUD. Nothing. No signal. No map. No mission log. Just a blank screen. Rin looked up, his eyes wide with terror. Sarge, my comp. It's gone. Not lost. Gone. The data. I can't remember what I downloaded. I felt a knot form in my stomach. What do you mean? Rin said, his voice cracking. I know I downloaded something. I know it was important. But I can't remember what it was. It's like the file was deleted from my brain. I stood up, testing my balance. I felt weak, drained. Check your pockets. Your gear. Jax patted himself down. Rifle's gone. Knife's gone. Everything's gone. We're naked, basically. Except for these suits. We were still wearing our combat suits, but all weapons and tools had been stripped. This isn't a prison, I said, walking to the wall. I touched it. It was warm, vibrating. It's a server farm. Rin scrambled to his feet. A what? A server farm, I repeated. Look at the patterns on the wall. They're circuit boards. Massive ones. We're inside a computer. Jax laughed, a harsh, barking sound. You're losing it, Sarge. We're in a room. A white room. Are we? I asked. I pressed my ear against the wall. I could hear a hum, a rhythmic digital pulse. Listen. Jax and Rin listened. Their expressions changed from skepticism to unease. What does that mean? Rin asked. It means, I said, that we're not in the physical world anymore. Or at least, not entirely. The virus Rin mentioned, it didn't just steal data. It uploaded us. Uploaded us. Jax stepped back. Like, Tron? That's sci-fi garbage, Sarge. Is it? I pointed to the corner of the room. Look there. In the corner, a shadow was forming. Not a shadow cast by light, but an absence of data. A glitch. It flickered, showing glimpses of the bunker, then the valley, then nothing. We're in a simulation, Rin whispered, his face pale. A containment sandbox. They caught us, and instead of killing us, they put us in here. Why? Jax asked. To interrogate us, I said, or to extract something from us. The mission log wasn't just orders. It was a key, and we walked right into the lock. Suddenly, the wall in front of us dissolved. A figure stepped through. It was a woman, dressed in a crisp, gray uniform. No insignia. Her face was familiar, yet I couldn't place it. She looked at us with a mixture of pity and disdain. Sergeant Vance, she said. Her voice was clear, devoid of the synthetic echo from the bunker. You always were too curious for your own good. Who are you? I demanded. I am Director Holloway, she said. And you are trespassing in a classified memory archive. Memory archive? Rin asked. This facility, Holloway said, gesturing to the white room, is where we store the memories of soldiers who have been compromised. Soldiers who have seen things they shouldn't. Things that could destabilize the government, the war effort, the very fabric of society. You're wiping our minds, I said, the realization hitting me like a physical blow. Not wiping, Holloway corrected. Archiving. We take the dangerous memories, the traumatic ones, the ones that contain state secrets, and we store them here. In exchange, you get to live. You get to go home. You get to forget the horror. And if we refuse? Jax asked, his fist clenched. Then, you stay here, Holloway said simply. Forever. In the loop. You will relive your worst moments over and over until your mind breaks. Or until you agree to the extraction. I looked at my team. Jax, angry and confused. Rin, terrified and analytical. And me? I felt a strange sense of déjà vu. Had I been here before? Had I had this conversation? How many times have we done this? I asked. Holloway smiled, a cold, thin smile. Does it matter? You always ask the same questions. You always resist. And eventually you always break. No, I said. Not this time. I turned to Run. Run, can you hack this environment? If it's a simulation, there's code. There's a backend. Hey, nodded slowly. Maybe, but I need time. And I need a distraction. I looked at Jax. Jax, keep her talking. Jax stepped forward, blocking Holloway's view of Ren. Hey, lady. You talk a lot for someone who's just standing there. What's your deal? You got a fetish for white rooms. Holloway's eyes narrowed. Silence, soldier. Make me. Jax sneered. While Jax distracted her, Ren dropped to his knees, pressing his hands against the floor. He closed his eyes, focusing. I could see the strain on his face, the sweat beading on his forehead. He was trying to interface with the simulation using his own neural pathways, a risky move that could fry his brain. I stood beside Ron, shielding him with my body. Hurry, thing. I'm trying, Ren gritted out. The code is dense. It's layered, like an onion. Every time I peel back a layer, there's another. And wait. What? There's a signature, Ren said. In the code. It's yours, Sarge. Mine. Yes. You've been here before. You've hacked this before. Look. Ren projected a snippet of code into the air. It was a string of alphanumeric characters, ending with a name. Vance? I don't remember this, I said. Because you chose to forget, Ren said. Look at the timestamp. 3 years ago. 5 years ago. 10 years ago. You've been here dozens of times, Sarge. Each time, you break out. Each time, they wipe your memory and send you back. It's a cycle. The weight of that revelation crushed me. I wasn't just a soldier. I was a prisoner, a lab rat. And my team, were they real? Or were they part of the simulation? Jax, I said, not taking my eyes off Holloway. Are you real? Jax looked at me, confusion warring with anger. What kind of question is that? Of course I'm real. Prove it, I said. Jax paused. He looked at his hands. He looked at me. I don't know how. Run, I said. Is he real? Run looked up, his eyes filled with sorrow. I don't know, Sarge. In a simulation, everyone is real until they're not. But I think he is. I think we all are. But our memories, they're edited. Holloway stepped closer. Enough of this. You are delaying the inevitable. Surrender the data, and you will be released. There is no data, I said. You took it. You took everything. Then, surrender yourselves, Holloway said. Accept the archive. Let go of the pain. I looked at Jax. Il looked at rain. I thought about the rain, the mud, the fear, the camaraderie, the love. Was it worth keeping if it caused so much pain? If it led to this endless loop? No, I said. The pain is what makes us human. The memories, even the bad ones, are who we are. You can't have one without the other. I grabbed Rin's hand. Finish the hack. They nodded. He took a deep breath and plunged his consciousness deeper into the code. Holloway signaled to the guards who had appeared behind her. Two large, faceless figures in black armor. They moved towards us. Jax, I shouted. Jax didn't hesitate. He lunged at the guards, tackling one to the ground. He fought with a ferocity that was terrifying, a primal rage that seemed to shake the very foundations of the simulation. The other guard raised a weapon, but I intercepted it, knocking it aside. I wasn't a fighter like Jax, but I was fast. I dodged the strike and kicked the guard in the knee, hearing the satisfying crunch of digital bone. Bang! Now, I yelled. I've got it. Bang! Screamed. I found the exit, but it's not a door. It's a memory. What? You have to remember. Bang! Shouted. You have to remember the truth. The simulation runs on suppression. If you remember, it crashes. Remember what? I racked my brain. The pain in my head spiked. I closed my eyes, diving into the darkness. I saw a face. A young girl. My daughter. Lily. I saw a hospital bed. I saw a letter. Condolences for your loss. I saw myself signing a contract. Volunteer for Project Mnemosyne. In exchange for debt forgiveness and medical care for your family, you agree to serve as a field agent. Memory suppression included. I hadn't joined the army for patriotism. I had joined because I was broken, because I had lost everything, and they had promised to take the pain away. But they hadn't taken it away. They had just hidden it. I remember, I whispered. The white room shattered. The world reassembled itself in a chaotic swirl of pixels and light. I was back in a bunker. The hum of the servers was deafening. Holloway was gone. The guards were gone. Jax and Rin were on the floor, gasping for air. Did we make it? Jax coughed, sitting up. I think so, Rin said, checking his comp. It's back. The data is still there. But, Sarge, look at this. He turned the screen towards me. It wasn't mission data. It was a list of names. Thousands of them. Soldiers, agents, civilians, all marked as archived. They're not just storing memories, Rin said, his voice hollow. They're storing people, consciousnesses. They've been harvesting minds for years, building an army of the forgotten. I felt a surge of nausea. We have to destroy it. Ow, Jax asked. We don't have explosives. We don't need explosives, I said. We have the truth. I walked to the central terminal. I plugged my neural link directly into the mainframe. Run, help me broadcast this. Everywhere. To every news outlet, every military channel, every public network. It's a huge file, Rin warned. It'll take time, and they'll try to stop us. Do it, I said. Rin began the upload. I stood guard, my heart pounding. The doors to the bunker burst open. Silencers poured in, their weapons raised. Stop, a voice commanded. It was Holloway, but she looked different now. Older, tired. You don't understand what you're doing. If you release this, you'll cause chaos. Panic. Va. Better than slavery, I said. It's not slavery, Holloway pleaded. It's peace. We take away the trauma. We give them a clean slate. Is that so wrong? It's theft, I said. You're stealing their souls. The silencers opened fire. Jax threw himself in front of Run, his body absorbing the bullets. He fell, but he kept shouting encouragement. Keep going, Ren. Don't stop. Ren was crying, but his fingers never stopped moving. 90%. 95%. I fired back, picking off the silencers one by one. But there were too many. They were closing in. Holloway, I said, looking her in the eye. Why me? Why am I always the one who remembers? Holloway lowered her weapon slightly. Because you're the only one who can. You have a rare genetic marker. Resistance to cognitive suppression. You're the anomaly, the glitch in the system. And you keep bringing me back, I said, to try and fix me. To try and save you, she corrected. But you keep choosing the pain. Because the pain is real, I said. 100%, Rin shouted. It's done. The screens in the bunker flashed red. Then green. Then white. A message appeared on every screen. Data released. Holloway stared at the screen, her face crumbling. You've doomed us all. No, I said. I've freed us. The bunker began to shake. The servers overloaded, sparking and exploding. The roof collapsed. Run. Yield. Rain. I dragged Jax's body with me, refusing to leave it behind. We burst out of the bunker just as it imploded, sending a shockwave of dust and debris into the air. We lay on the grass, coughing, bleeding alive. The rain had stopped. The sun was rising, casting long shadows across the valley. Jax groaned. Did we win? I looked at the horizon. I could see drones in the distance, but they weren't attacking. They were hovering, confused. The command structure was in disarray. The secret was out. I don't know, I said. But we're awake. Ren sat up, holding his calm Sarge, the mission log. It's back. I looked at him. Read it. Pain, hesitate. Are you sure? Yes. Ren opened the file. He read it once. Then he looked at me. It says, mission complete. Return to base. I smiled. It was a small, sad smile. Then let's go home. We walked out of the valley. 3 broken men carrying the weight of the truth. I didn't know what awaited us back at base. Court-martial? Prison? Fame? Infamy? It didn't matter. For the first time in years, I remembered who I was. I remembered Lily. I remembered the pain. And I remembered that I was still here. The mission log didn't delete itself this time, because I didn't read it twice. I lived it, and that was enough. As we crested the hill, I looked back at the ruins of the bunker. It was just a pile of rubble now. But I knew the fight wasn't over. The architecture of amnesia was vast, and we had only scratched the surface. But we had the key. We had the memory. And we had each other. Jax limped beside me. Hey, Sarge. Yeah, Jax. Next time, can we pick a mission with less mind control? Maybe just a simple bank robbery. I laughed. It was a genuine laugh, free of fear. I'll see what I can do. Ren walked ahead, scanning the horizon. Signal's clear, Sarge. Command is hailing us. Let them wait, I said. We're not in a hurry anymore. We walked on, into the sunrise, leaving the ghosts behind. The past was no longer a prison. It was a foundation. And we were ready to build something new. Something real. The end.